Okay, so we've got some new news on the new Battlefield, and this is pretty big because right now this speculation of this being from Battlefield 3 is actually starting to come to light, that from what we thought before, it's actually happening. That there's probably, it's not going to be, from what I understand, people are saying the new game isn't going to be the remaster of Battlefield 3 or 4, but it's going to be part of Portal, where they're going to add these maps in there. Is that true? We don't know. A lot of it is really still speculation, but regardless, it does show some hints towards Battlefield 3 and 4 that might be there, even if it's in Portal in the new game. That's huge. How could we say no to a modding capability in Battlefield that could take it to a whole nother level? But with that said, there is some more news that we got to look into and break down. We had the EA boss he said he isn't opposed, from Battlefield Bulletin says he isn't opposed to move the new Battlefield release window beyond 2026 to account for nuances the year relative to competition, aka GTA 6. Essentially, we might be seeing the new Battlefield before April of 2026. That seems to be the guarantee. They say there may be some things happening in the year that may cause us to think differently about our launch timing. And later on in the article, it's just a bunch of words to say the exact same thing of what he mentions earlier. The key thing is they do not want to release it based on if GTA releases it, because that is just a massive game that is obviously going to take away from sales for them, and obviously as a corporation like EA, they're all about the sales. With that said, we've got some other big news. EA says they have an amazing response to the playtest. It's overwhelmingly positive and beyond their expectations, which is obviously great. This is what we want to hear. But the thing that kind of makes me, take it with a grain of salt every time I see this, it just makes me go, they say it's the biggest Battlefield we've ever built, or at least we have ever built to date. I feel like I've heard this before. And I'm taking everything they say with a grain of salt, especially when they say a love letter to Battlefield fans with 2042. And we've all seen how that went. We've already seen how a 2042 trailer can look so amazing, get our hypes up, and then the game isn't all that. It's just a lot of take what they say with a little bit of a grain of salt, but also look at the facts of what they're actually trying to say. For example, the playtests of Battlefield Labs. This is huge. And every time we've seen a Battlefield come out, it's been, here's the game, and then here's CTE afterwards to fix the broken game, and then everybody's happy with the game. Now they're saying, how about we give you basically Battlefield Labs, which is CTE, before the game releases, fix the game, then release it, which to me sounds perfect of what they can do. And the fact that they're actually delaying the game now and could be looking at a release window before April of 2026 says to me this game is going to be cooked. Like really, and in a good way, like it's going to really have time to cook and be made right. So especially if we're able to give feedback in the Battlefield Labs and get into it and make that game better than it needs to be. But what it's going to be, that's unknown. And he also goes on to say a big part of the modern development process that the team is taking is to test and tune everything to ensure that even as we launch something of this scale, it launches both stable and secure. He goes on to say we have invested more in this Battlefield than any Battlefield before it. We have 4 studios. We've had a meaningful amount of time. We're looking for this to be the biggest Battlefield we've ever made. And we, of course, want to make sure that we launch that into a window where we can deliver on the fullest of the promise of what Battlefield can be and grow the community to a level that is commensurate with the size of the game that we're making. Essentially, long story short, it's good news. I mean, like in my personal opinion, this looks like some good news. It's because I wouldn't want them to release a game early, and it's kind of good that GTA is releasing before or within this year, so that way EA actually is like, hey, maybe we shouldn't release it and try to compete with GTA, because that only leads to more development on the game, which can make it become better than what it is. And it truly needs that, and we all want that. And especially since there's a Battlefield Labs now for testing it, huge. Question is, what's it going to be, and will they actually nail it? And honestly, I truly believe this is going to happen with how I've seen previous Battlefields. We're going to probably see a lot of leaks coming in from these Battlefields that have been shown in the past, especially with this one, with Battlefield Labs. And moreover, if this really is the Battlefield, this might be the central point for Battlefield, where they just take this Battlefield and build on it, creating any other Battlefield in the Battlefield universe of wherever they want to take it, whether it be World War I, World War II, or modern or futuristic. This would be the Battlefield. But I don't know. You guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. And if you guys enjoy this type of breaking news on the new Battlefield where I give you all the new details, please drop a like down below because that helps me out